Tonight on Whip City Weekly, we find out what the radio club has been up to this semester.
I got to try a burrito from Two Rivers in Westfield. More info on the new business later on.
And the team is back up for another segment of Whip City Roundtable.
All that and more when Whip City starts right now.
Thank you for tuning in to Whip City Weekly. I'm Tyler Hadley.
And I'm Samantha Minier. Elected State Senator Don Humison was sworn into office this week by Governor Deval Patrick. Humison stepped down from his position as House Representative of Westfield District, which he held for 11 years. He replaces Michael Knapik, who now works for Westfield State. No confirmation yet about a special election to replace him in his previous office. Michael Knapik is leaving the Senate seat with high honors. On November 6th, the Greater Westfield Chambers of Commerce honored him with the Outstanding Stewardship Award for his contributions to the city. Also recognized was local business Chambers and Quebec, which was named Business of the Year. The annual Chamber of Commerce Awards took place at Westward Restaurant here in Westfield.
Humison and Mayor Knapik recently joined forces to raise the Puerto Rican flag over City Hall. Local citizen Will Rodriguez said, "This is our 18th year of raising the flag, and every year we get stronger and stronger." Over 3,000 Hispanics reside in the greater Westfield area. Two Rivers is a popular new burrito restaurant here in Westfield.
I spoke with the owner of the Two Rivers restaurant and even got a chance to try a burrito myself. This is Samantha Minier with Whip City Weekly at Two Rivers Burrito Company in downtown Westfield, where today we're highlighting some of the workers, the owner, and the patrons of this fine establishment. First, we'll go to the owner, Joe Wen.
We thought that there'd be a market for it here in Westfield. I'd lived in Texas for a year as a part of my training for the Air National Guard. I ate a lot of food of this style down there, and I thought the people of Westfield would like it. Two Rivers Burrito Company is named for the two rivers that surround downtown Westfield, the Westfield River and the Little River. There's not too much for Mexican restaurants in Westfield right now. As a price comparison to Taco Bell, we are a little bit more expensive than them. However, we use a lot of local ingredients every week and offer a higher quality product. We have a variety of 3 different hot sauces that we offer that are from all around the country and all around the world. Then we also make 3 hot sauces of our own in-house. We have a signature sauce. It's our honey jalapeno sauce that we make here with fresh jalapenos that we cut and pickle in a brining solution and mix with local honeys from local farms in Westfield and the surrounding area.
Well, I think the most special thing about our salsa is that all the ingredients are fresh and they're made here daily. Well, our salsa is actually a mild salsa. It's not very spicy at all, so most people do order it.
At first, I was just going to help them out for a couple weeks and stayed busy enough where I could stay on, so I definitely enjoy it, though.
This is my second time here. Came down a couple months ago, got a burrito, and decided to come back today. I have a bit of a cold, so I thought I'd see if I could knock it out with a good burrito.
I have here the pork carnitas burrito. Really delicious.
Two Rivers is located at 36 Elm Street and is open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Many Massachusetts workers should soon be seeing an increase in their paycheck on Monday. The state Senate passed a vote to increase the minimum wage from $8 to $11 an hour. The bill would be enacted over the next 3 years. Employees who receive tips would only get paid half the minimum wage of hourly workers. The bill now heads to the State Senate of Representatives for approval.
Westfield State football coach Steve Marino is retiring from coaching after a 40-year tenure. 24 of those 40 seasons have been with our very own WSU Owls. Marino says his lack of energy is what caused his decision to retire. He calls coaching a part-time job with a full-time hours. But it's not all teary goodbyes, Marino says. He will now be able to spend more time with his wife and 4 grandchildren.
Thanksgiving break is right around the corner for Westfield State students. If you plan on leaving your car on campus over the break, make sure you contact Public Safety for specific directions on where to park. Also, as winter approaches, don't forget to visit the Westfield website at www.cityofwestfield.org for plowing procedures and parking policies.
Last weekend, Stanley Park hosted the first Run Stanley Save the Bridges 5K race. The run was held to raise money to help rebuild 2 bridges in the park's wildlife sanctuary that were destroyed in recent storms. Men, women, and children came from all over the Westfield area to support the park, We have WSU's own Professor Vanessa Diana to thank for organizing the race. For more information on results and for photos, visit www.runstanley.com.
Before we go to break, let's check in with Christina Pinto, who's hanging out with the radio club. How's it going over there, Christina?
Pretty good. I'm here with a few members from the club and we're practicing our radio voices.
Well, I can't wait to hear that. When we come back, Christina's going to get a chance to ask the guys a few questions about their club.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay. Wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi! God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
This week on Club Spotlight, I sit down with Adam and Evan, who are part of Radio Club. Hi guys, how's it going today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. So tell me a little about what you do in Radio Club.
Okay, well, I'm the assistant general manager of the club, and this position was created last year after I helped to organize the spring concert that we had last April. And so we realized we need a pretty much president and vice president to divide the workload between us. And so I do things like email SGA, board people, and I organize concerts, bake sales, and work with the general manager to get the ball rolling with events, work on any technical difficulties, any personal problems within the club between either DJs or board members, and just kind of handle everything as the upper members would.
Cool.
I manage the playlists that play when there are no DJs in the studio, so we don't have just dead air. And it comes to us from multiple promoters of music, mainly unsigned artists and lesser popular artists. So we're technically an alternative station, so we try to help promote the unsigned artists that come to us through the promoters.
Awesome. And how can students get involved in Radio Club? What can they do?
Students can email any of the board members. We have lots of available shows that they can do. They can talk to us through Facebook, and we have a Twitter account now that's just for the radio exclusively. One of our board members organizes every show and knows the available slots and time. So as long as they can get their contact information to us, any of the board members, it can get passed on and they can get a show,
Awesome.
with either their first or second choice
Okay.
is available.
That doesn't sound too bad. That's
Yeah.
awesome. About how many students are a part of Radio Club right now?
I'd say about 30 students, 30 DJs, and then us.
Yeah, the exec board's made up of 11 members, I believe, either 10 or 11, and 30 odd DJs, because a lot of people have shows where they invite a bunch of guests. So
Right.
it looks like there are probably 50 people in and out of the radio every week, which is great, but would
Wow.
really love to have more. Fill up the board outside with shows all day. That's
Definitely.
our ideal goal.
Are there any special requirements that you need to be a part of it, or?
Not particularly. We do have even some staff shows, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can be of any major, of any sort of show you want, as long as it's not talking about things that are, discriminatory or
Right.
negative in any sort of way. Anyone can join the radio. We have commuters, we have staff, as Adam said, we have alumni that still have shows, so it's open to everyone.
Nice. Awesome. Do you guys have any events coming up?
Yes, we have a fall concert this Saturday, November 23rd, 7 to 11 p.m. in Scanlon Banquet Hall. And it is split between, it's an open mic in the beginning segment, either the first hour or hour and a half, depending on how many people sign up. And then the second half of the concert is bands that we have from around here. It's 4 local bands that are within the area of Holyoke and Northampton and the Berkshires. And so anyone can sign up for the open mic. We encourage it because we don't have a lot of people currently. And you can do poetry, you can read a story you wrote, you can sing, you can bring multiple friends. We're a very open club, very open-minded. We don't judge anyone for anything they want to perform as long as it's within community guidelines. And we love all and any participation. You know, we just really want to get this campus to be more musically open, have a lot of free music, have a lot of things happening. Yeah, and the concert is free. It's donation-based, and part of the proceeds, most of the proceeds will go to MS in the name of Emily Gagnon, who is an alumni who passed away, unfortunately, in September. And we keep some of the funds so we can have our spring concert, which will be in April. And we need money to, you know, hire bands and security and all that. And then we have a bake sale coming up during the Westfield's Dancing with the Stars, which I believe is December 12th. We're going to have a table outside. It's in Devon. It's on Devon Stage, and we're going to have a table outside there selling baked goods before you walk in to the event.
Awesome. Sounds like a good time. Just one more question. What is your ultimate goal of Radio Club?
We have a few primary ones, mainly to promote a more musical community, and just a community where people can speak their minds, and we can also support local music and music that is unsigned and alternative to the top 40.
That's awesome. Well, thanks guys for coming in. Definitely sounds like an awesome club to join. Good to get the word out too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, it's time for Whip City Roundtable with hosts Drew Belsky and guests Matt Stover and Mike Drew. Stay with us.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Hey, and welcome to this week's edition of Whip City Roundtable. I'm with Mike Drew and Matt Stover. We'll start it off with some Westfield sports, and Matt with some hockey.
Yeah, you know, the Westfield team didn't really start out the way they wanted to. They're 1-4 guys. 0-2 at home. You definitely want to be able to protect that home ice at Amelia. Their goal scorers are not doing well. McCadden and Powers having a real tough time getting things going. Powers led the team in points last year, 0 goals so far. McCadden with a lone 1. Definitely not what you want to see from your major line there. They're 1-1 in conference play. Lost to Framingham, which Framingham was the bottom of the barrel last year. But then they come out and they beat Salem 8-5. 2 players had hat tricks, the captain, senior Vince Perot, and the freshman, Jackson Leaf, who's looked really promising here so far. Goal tending's been a little bit iffy for them as well. Perrier, 109 saves, 14 goals against. Davies had a few games to play to prove himself, 3 goals against, 57 saves. As you see, that's a lot of shots in 5 games for both goalies. Defense needs to step it up a little bit, and they also need to do a better job of clearing the puck out of the defensive zone. But they have a big conference game coming up tonight, and a few more next week, so it should be interesting.
Definitely. All right, and on a bit of a different start, the Westfield basketball team, their season's up and going now, so how are they doing?
They have actually been very, very impressive, and Matt can attest to this. This was a team that coming into this year we thought was going to be totally rebuilding. Lost a couple of key upperclassmen last year, like Matt Devine, the center, who was just a complete star player for them, but I've seen their first 2 games up close and personal, and their freshman players, specifically I have a couple in mind. One is a center, Shane Pasquantonio. Another is a guard named Joe Craps, and they both have just contributed mightily to the team's wins in the first 2 games. Pasquantonio especially threw down, actually, in the game on Saturday when they beat Plymouth State, and I think he shocked the entire arena. But this is a team that they're clearly still building their chemistry. They're still working on incorporating so many young players into the system. But the few older presences that are there, guys like Grant Cooper, the captain, the junior, he is just able to unite these guys together, and they're primed for a good year.
Let's hope that continues. So in a bit of a different change, 2 flags over the weekend really changed 2 games and the outcomes.
Absolutely.
What do you guys think about the refs this year, the hits, the non-calls, the too many calls?
All I just want to say is the 2 games the Pats lost this year, or excuse me, 2 of the 3 games the Pats lost this year have been blamed on the refs. That bogus call about touching a defender, pushing him, trying to block a field goal. How you call that and lose the game to the Jets, mind you, that's just pathetic. And 2, this week with that thrown flag and picked up, all I want to say is I looked up the at a identical play in 08. It was the Browns and the Lions. Lions did the same thing where the ball was intercepted, but the wide receiver was hit. They threw the flag, pass interference. Lions got the ball at 1 in the 4th quarter. Was no time left on the clock. They scored. Should have been the same thing for the Pats. NFL needs to be more consistent.
That was a bit different, though, because didn't the wide receiver go to the ground?
He did, yes, but I just think that the NFL is becoming a lot more like the NBA.
Well, how about another situation that happened this weekend in the 49ers-Saints game when Ahmad Brooks basically comes in and sacks Drew Brees, forces a fumble. 49ers are going to get it and take it the other way and win the game, and then he gets called for unnecessary roughness for basically tackling Brees like this, like you're supposed to as a football player. I don't get it.
And he was fined for that hit.
Ray Lewis is going to pay it, though, so don't worry.
Yeah, Ray Lewis is going to pay half.
Is he really, though? Like, you gotta make sure he's going to pay his half.
All right, so that's all we have for
don't
this
trust
week
Ray.
on Whip City Roundtable. Back to you guys at the desk.
Looks like those NFL referees are causing a ruckus.
Yeah, let's hope the NFL can really get it straightened out pretty soon.
Before we go, it's time for an edition of This Week in History. On November 22nd, 1963, United States President John F. Kennedy was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald in Texas, making this November 22nd 50 years since the president passed unexpectedly. In 1902, on November 24th, the first Congress of Professional Photographers convened. On November 25th, 1930, an earthquake struck in Shizuoka, Japan, and killed 187 people. November 28, 1950, 200,000 communist troops launched an attack on United Nations forces. And finally, on November 29, 1961, NASA launches the chimpanzee named Enos into Earth's orbit.
Well, that does it for this episode of Whip City Weekly. I'm Tyler Hadley.
And I'm Samantha Manier.
Take care, Westfield.